now your local forecast. Accurate, convenient, and dependable. Only on the Weather Channel.
Well, unfortunately, quite a bit of flooding reported in the northeast. Let's get right to the current weather map, show you what's going on. Strong cold front moving into eastern Pennsylvania. Very, very strong winds associated with this particular weather system. Now, what we had is a very strong high-pressure dome that's been trying to move out of the way, but it's not in any big hurry. So, big wall of high pressure here. A fairly strong storm that worked through the lakes, producing some very heavy snow. So it's the contrast between the high pressure and the low pressure that's so great that we've had some very strong, very gusty winds coming in from the south. Yesterday we talked about the fact that this particular cold front, out ahead of it anyway, was going to have 60 to 80 mile an hour winds about 3,000 to 5,000 feet above the ground, and that would probably tend to push this moisture pretty quickly to the north last night. That's exactly what happened. We've had anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain scattered about some of the hills in central Pennsylvania, eastern Pennsylvania, Jersey. Heading over into New England now, we're picking up some of the heavier rain, as you'll see on radar in just a few seconds. And wind-whipped snow across the Great Lakes. Almost 3 feet of snow in one isolated spot as you head up into the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. Temperatures in the 50s, generally speaking, ahead of the front, but you go behind the front and the temperatures drop off very, very quickly. As soon as that front kicks through, much colder air is noticeable right away. 28 over Pittsburgh, and it's 26 degrees at this hour in Erie, Pennsylvania. There's the big view, and you can see the extent of the rain stretching through New England. One large area of moderate to occasionally heavy rain, some embedded thunder possible, and then a second line. Actually, that's the actual cold front giving that one last extra lift to the warm, moist air and setting off some of the heavier thunder showers. Now, you can actually watch the progression of the front looking at this splotch of yellow showing up from north to south. Heavier rain streaking quickly northbound. Not only heavy rain, but don't forget, with the soil so saturated and it's been a little wet over the northeast recently, it's going to be, at least theoretically, a lot easier for some of these wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour to topple some of these trees. And if they're down over the power lines, well, then we'll have more problems with power outages as we go through the afternoon. So not a pretty picture, to say the least. About the only thing we have going is that at least the cold front's not stalling at this point. At least it continues to move steadily to the east. So let's just hope it continues that trend and pushes all of this finally out over the Atlantic. But until then, we've got to deal with it. Another 1 to 2 inches of rain. If you're in Providence, heavier rain just pushing in, you've got a ways to go, because you notice that heavier rain actually goes all the way back towards the border, Connecticut and New York. And then as you head farther west, you have still got to deal with that, the cold front, as it kicks on through and generates some showers and perhaps even some late afternoon or early evening thunderstorms. And it actually continues southward, eastern North Carolina, the Tidewater. You can notice up to the north, there's D.C., and that's the tail end, the very tail end of some of that heavier rain with the front. So the front goes all the way south into North Florida. Breezy day, but at least lots of sunshine in the southeastern part of the country. But look at all the isobars on the weather map today. Closely packed isobars. Strong winds, and that's the snow history from this storm cutting through Iowa, Wisconsin, and heading into the UP. And as I mentioned, reports, I think it's in the town of Bumbletown where we had a report of 33 inches of snow, getting a little extra help from the moisture off Lake Superior. Still getting that wind-whipped moisture coming in off Lake Michigan, so we're catching the snow, and there will be a couple of inches today as the snow piles up. Look at the wind chills, 11 below at Grand Rapids, 35 below at Fargo, and right around the same category at Minot in North Dakota. So bundle up if you're going to be outside for an extended period of time. In fact, now you'll notice current temperature readings show a big pocket of colder Arctic air which has come in behind the storm system. Storm's gone. It's in Canada, at least the center of it is, but with that strong northwest wind, we'll keep pushing that colder air across the Great Lakes today. Now while the action unfolds in the east, another significant weather system in the west. We've had some heavy snow around the north edge of the Willamette Valley over the last couple of hours, but it appears that it's going to start tapering off. A quick shot of warmer Pacific Ocean air came in over the top of that colder air, and that gave us that quick accumulation, but it looks like, at least on radar, some of the more significant snow should be tapering off very shortly around Portland. Now, this is all rain on the south edge of the valley coming down to Bakersfield, 1 to 2 inches in the Santa Cruz Mountains associated with the cold front, so plenty of rain and snow over the west part of the nation. The satellite view shows a big splotch of blue and yellow here, some of the higher cloud tops moving through. This system, again, as it moves east, is going to spread some of its heavier snow into Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho through the next 12 to 18 hours. Nice day in the southeast. It'll be a little warmer perhaps tomorrow, a lot more sunshine expected. Beautiful weather finally, at least comparatively speaking. We'll get a better trend in the northeast as high pressure moves in. The front will have left. A lot of the moisture will be gone, but then more snow redeveloping over the northern plains and the upper Midwest. Heaviest rain targeted from Oregon south at the very lowest of elevations. You know, we picked up about 8 inches of snow up on the north edge of the valley, up around Redding. 8 inches of snow as Pacific moisture overran some cold air that was down in the valley, and very heavy rain expected, 1, maybe 2 inches of rain across parts of eastern New England for the duration of the day. There's your snow expectations. You notice how we do have some heavier snow pushing into the mountains of Idaho and Wyoming, and then eventually coming up tomorrow, heavier snow developing farther east, and there'll be some lake-enhanced or lake effect snow kicking through this afternoon over the Great Lakes. Highs tomorrow, 0, maybe 10 below in Montana. We'll have the rest of the forecast coming up.
Used to be just one way to get through an icy winter.
Walk like a penguin.
But now there's a better way. Safe Step Ice Melter, so you don't have to.
Walk like a penguin.
Safe Step won't harm grass, won't stain carpets, and works even below 0. Safe Step Ice Melter. Tough on ice, gentle on everything else. Pick some up today, or else you might.
Walk like a penguin.
Look for Safe Step Ice Melter at a store or janitorial supply distributor near